In the previous session, I had said about the two other coordinate systems, that is the cylindrical coordinate system and the spherical coordinate system. So we will start about the cylindrical coordinate system today. We will look at the circular cylindrical coordinate system. So before we go into that, we will just revise what we have seen in rectangular coordinate system so that we can relate the new coordinate systems to what we have already studied. Okay, in rectangular coordinate system, we have seen there are three axes, x, y, and z axis, right, which are mutually perpendicular. So it's called an orthogonal system where the three axes are mutually perpendicular to each other, and any point is seen as intersection of three planes, right? Three surfaces, three planar surfaces in this case. One is x is equal to constant plane, y is equal to constant plane, and other one is z is equal to constant plane. So the origin here, it is at that particular point all x, y, and z all are zeros. So this is the way you can see any point P as intersection of three different planes. So the one that you can see here, that is the x is equal to constant plane. On that particular plane, the value of x is constant, only y and z will vary. This particular plane, which is held perpendicular to the screen, okay, so that is y is equal to constant plane. On that particular plane, y is constant, only x and z will vary. And the one which is horizontal, that is z is equal to constant plane, there the value of z coordinate is constant, only x and y will vary. So this particular point P is some units ahead of the screen, some units to the right of the origin, and some units to the top of the origin, right? So that will define the x, y, and z coordinates of that particular point P, right? So next we will see, we have seen the differential volume element. We have seen the differential volume element in case of rectangular coordinates, a small volume element which is formed by moving a point P by uh, differential lengths in all the three axes, right? Suppose initially the point was here. Initially, if the point P was here, right, we have seen this case. If we move that point by dx units in the x direction, dx units in the x direction, dy units in the y direction, this is the y direction, and dz units in the z direction, that is to the top, the new location of the point will be this, right? So we have seen this. P is the one that is it's the only corner that is invisible, right? It is behind. This P dash is the new point, okay? This P dash is the new point, uh, which is at the top, right? So you get a parallelepiped or a small cube. You can say if the sizes of the uh, edges are different, that particular diagram or the volume element is called parallelepiped, which has dx. The length in x direction is dx, the length in y direction is dy, the length in z direction is dz. So these are the lengths, right? Dx, dy, and dz are the lengths. Then the volume is given by length into breadth into length into width into height, whatever, right? Product of three different sides, that is dx multiplied by dy multiplied by dz. So this is the volume element. The lengths are given by dx, dy, and dz in x, y, and z directions, right? So if you take the lengths as vectors, we are going to write this as dl. Okay, so dl, it's a vector actually, the length. So in x direction, you can write this as dl with a suffix x. So it is dx ax. Dl in the y direction is written like this. So this is dy, sorry, this is dy ay, yeah, dy ay. And in the z direction, you can write this as dlz, okay, that is dz, sorry, the vector dlz, that is dz az, right? So these are different lengths in different directions. Now, along with volume and length, there are surfaces. There are 6 surfaces we have seen, right? There are 6 surfaces, one at the front, one at the back, one at the left, one at the right, one at the top, and one at the bottom. So these surfaces, we treat the surfaces in fields as vectors, okay? And they will be directed outwards. Suppose this is a closed volume, the direction outside, okay? So if you consider this right surface, if you consider this right surface, what is the direction outside of this particular volume? This direction, right? It is directed in this particular direction. What is this direction? This is in the direction of y. So this is directed towards ay. Okay, and the plane or the surface which is directed towards ay has x and z components. As you can see, one edge is in the x direction, other edge is in the z direction, right? So it is dx units in the x direction and dz units in the z direction. The direction of this particular plane is in ay direction, right? The parallel to this, on the other side of this volume element, we have another plane which is, if you take the outward direction, it is opposite to this y, right? It is minus ay. So if you take that particular direction, it is in the direction of minus ay. So if you take the front surface, this edge, length of this edge is dy, right? The length of this particular edge, which is vertical, that is dz, right? This is dy and dz. So what is the outward direction of the front surface? It is coming front, right? The direction which is coming front is x. So the axis is ax. So the area of this particular thing is dy dz indicated with the direction that is ax. Similarly, for the back one, it will be going backward. So it is minus ax. Then remaining are top and bottom surfaces. The top surface, one length is x, the other length is y. If you move outward, that is to the top direction. The top direction is the z direction. So it is dx dy with the direction is az. Okay. So if you look at the directions of this, yeah, you can see if it is direction which is directed towards in the x direction, it is the front and the back surface. Back surface will be in minus ax. The area of this is dy dz ax. So what you can write is, we normally write it as ds, okay? ds with the suffix x, that is surface area in the x direction. That is given as dy dz ax. Okay, if you just write dy dz, it will indicate the magnitude of the area. But if you want to know the direction, you should indicate the unit vector ax along with dy and dz. So it's easy to remember, if the lengths are y and z, the direction will be the third direction, x. Okay, if it is y and z, it will be the direction that is perpendicular to that plane, that is ax. So similarly, this is in the y direction. If it is y direction, then we write it as ds with the suffix y. So that is given as dx or dz dx ay, right? Similarly, the top surface which is directed topwards, that is in the z direction, its area or the surface area is ds, that is equal to dx dy az, right? Dx dy az. So these are the different differential elements, that is differential length, differential surface, and differential volume elements in rectangular coordinates. So why we are concerned about this differential lengths, surfaces, and volume elements is because throughout the subject we perform calculus, that is differentiation and integration, by taking a small element into consideration. Then we differentiate it or integrate it with respect to length, area, or volume. So in that case, depending on the coordinate system, we need to take these particular lengths, surfaces, and volume elements. So if you have not understood this, you cannot solve any problem in this particular subject. Okay, so you should be clear with these differential elements in all the 3 coordinate systems that we are going to study. So to start with, we have seen this in rectangular coordinates. Next, based on this, we will try to get these elements in cylindrical as well as spherical coordinate systems. So the next coordinate system we are going to study is cylindrical coordinate system. In rectangular coordinate system, we had x, y, and z axis. There were axes which are mutually perpendicular, and the coordinates are same as the axis, right? And all the a point is seen as the intersection of three different surfaces. All the three surfaces are planes in case of rectangular coordinates. Whereas in cylindrical coordinate system, we consider the polar coordinates. Okay, it's actually one version of polar coordinates where you had studied r and theta, right? R and theta when it was a two-dimensional system. In case of three-dimensional system, we have three coordinates. That is, along with r and theta, we have the z component also. That is a z coordinate. But in this, in case of cylindrical coordinates, we will not use the terms r and theta in order to avoid the confusion with the spherical coordinate system. In spherical coordinate system, again we get r and theta. So to avoid that confusion, we will use two different things. We will come to that. Yeah. In polar coordinates, what we have, any point, it is located in a plane, right? When you consider the two coordinate or two-dimensional systems, it is located in a plane by giving its distance rho. Normally, we call this r, right? In polar coordinates, we use the term r from the origin, and the angle theta. Okay, here we use phi. Instead of theta, we use phi between the line from the point to the origin and some arbitrary radial line. So taken as phi is equal to 0. So in this three-dimensional version of cylindrical coordinate system or circular cylindrical coordinates, along with the radius r or rho and angle theta or phi, we also specify the distance z of a particular point from an arbitrary z is equal to 0 reference plane. Okay, so that z is equal to 0 reference plane, wherever it is, that it is aligned along the origin of your coordinate system. So this plane is perpendicular to the line rho is equal to 0. So if I say this, you will not understand without showing you the pictures, right? So any point, it can be considered as intersection of three mutually perpendicular surfaces, just like in rectangular coordinate system. Even here, there are three mutually perpendicular surfaces, but they are not planar surfaces. One surface is a cylinder, one surface is a plane, and another one is another plane. Okay, in a cylinder the radius is constant. Okay, so this way you can see this, it's a part of a cylinder, it's a part of a cylinder. So a point lies at the intersection of three different planes. So it is more clear in this particular system, in this particular diagram, right? So a point P or Q or R, whatever points you take, they lie at the intersection of three different planes. So one plane is a cylindrical plane, the, the surface of a cylinder, right? The surface of a cylinder. On that surface of a cylinder, the radius of the cylinder is constant. So the rho is actually used to indicate the radius of that particular cylinder. So on the surface of the cylinder, the radius of the cylinder is constant, right? So then we use another plane or another term called phi. What is that phi? It is actually the angle made by this plane from x, okay, from this particular axis, from the x axis, from here. Okay, so this angle is called azimuthal angle. So we'll come to that. The another plane is z. So this is similar to what we had in rectangular coordinates. Z is equal to constant plane, that is the distance from xy plane to the top, whatever, top or bottom. If it is to the top, x will be positive. If it is below, x will be negative. So you can see the point as intersection of these three planes. So here rho is equal to constant plane is a cylindrical or the surface of a cylinder. Phi is equal to constant plane. It is a, yeah, that surface is a plane. It's actually called a semi-plane. Semi-plane in the sense it is not there in the negative axis. It starts only from here, right? It starts only from the positive. It starts only in the positive axis, and the value of it will be in angles from 0 to 2 pi. Okay, in degrees you can say 0 to 360 degrees, or in radians it is from 0 to 2 pi. And z is equal to constant plane, it is a complete plane which can be from minus infinity to infinity. Okay, rho is equal to constant plane. Again, it can be from 0 to infinity. Again, there is no negative value for rho there, right? Rho can be 0 and it can have any value till infinity. So this is the way you can locate a point. So that point or any point, it can be written in cylindrical coordinate system in this way. Just like you write p of x comma y comma z in case of rectangular coordinates, in cylindrical coordinates you can write any point p as rho comma phi comma z, where rho is the radius of the cylinder passing through that point p, or the distance from the z axis. Okay, it's the radial distance from z axis. You should remember, it is the radius, not from the origin. The distance or radial distance is not from the origin, but perpendicular distance from the z axis. Okay, then phi is the azimuthal angle which is measured from x axis in the xy plane. Okay, so as you have seen this, from the x axis, whatever angle this plane makes, that is the phi. It's called azimuthal angle. Then z is whatever you have seen in the Cartesian system or the rectangular coordinate system. It is one and the same. Now coming to the unit vectors, just like we had unit vectors ax, ay, and az in rectangular coordinate system, in cylindrical coordinate system, the unit vectors are a rho, a phi, and az. Okay, so if you look at the same diagram, at the point P, so if point P is given by rho 1, phi 1, and z1, then, so what this actually means, this point is at a particular location. It can be viewed as it is on the surface of a cylinder of radius rho 1. Okay, the radius of the cylinder is rho 1. Then if you drop a perpendicular from this point to the xy plane here, okay, and you take the angle, or you join this line and take the angle, that will be phi 1, right? And the length of this line, so the perpendicular, that will be z1. Okay, this length will be z1. The angle made from x-axis to this particular line will be phi 1, and the radius of the cylinder will be rho 1. So the unit vectors in case of uh, cylindrical coordinate system will be a rho, a phi, and az. So what are these unit vectors? The unit vector arrow, it is directed radially outward. It comes outward along the line joining, the radius, whatever. If you draw it outward, that will be arrow. It will be normal to the cylindrical surface, that is perpendicular to the cylindrical surface. So this lies in the plane phi is equal to phi 1 and z is equal to z1, right? It lies in the two planes where phi is equal to phi 1 plane if you take, and z is equal to z1 plane. So whatever we had seen in the previous diagram. Similarly, the unit vector a rho, it is actually the tangent drawn at the particular point P. The tangential line at the perpendicular at the point P. Okay, it is normal to the plane phi is equal to phi 1, which is perpendicular at this particular case. It is normal to this phi is equal to phi 1 plane. It points in the direction of increasing phi. If this is increasing phi, okay, this is the direction of increasing phi. It lies in the plane z is equal to z1, and it is tangent to the cylindrical surface rho is equal to rho 1. So that's what I said. It is tangent to the cylinder at this particular point P. The next unit vector is az, which is same as you have seen in the rectangular coordinate system. It is moving upwards in the top direction. So the same thing, it can be visualized like this. It is one and the same. Okay, it's the same thing. This is z, this distance is rho, and the angle made by this line, okay, that is phi. The angle you have to consider from x-axis. Okay, you have to consider that angle from x-axis. So these unit vectors a rho, a phi, and az, they are mutually perpendicular to each other since it is an orthogonal system. So we will see the products of them, dot product and cross product, just like we had seen in rectangular coordinates, right? Unit vector, if you find the dot product with any other unit vector, it will be 0 because the angle between them will be 90 degrees. Cos 90 is 0. In dot product, we have cos of angle between them, right? So if the angle between them is 90 degrees, cos 90 is 0. That's why product of unit vector with any other unit vector, dot product of unit vector with any other unit vector is 0. That's why we have this a rho dot a phi, that is equal to a phi dot az, that is a phi dot a rho. If you reverse the order also, it will be same because dot product is commutative. But if you find the dot product of any unit vector with itself, then what do you get? You get it as 1, because the angle made by a vector with itself is 0. Cos 0 is 1. That's why a unit vector dotted with itself will give you 1. The same rules hold good in all the coordinate system, since even here the unit vectors are mutually perpendicular to each other. But if you find the cross product, okay, if you find the cross product, again it's just the same. If you find cross product of two vectors, the resultant or the result will be another vector which is in the third direction. So if you take rho and phi, if you find a rho cross a phi, the result will be az. So it is actually rho phi and z. Okay, so rho phi and z in a cyclic order. So if you take rho a rho into a phi, it will be az. If you take a phi into az, it will be a rho. Then if you take az into a rho, it will be a phi. But if you if you reverse the order, the answer will be negative. It will not be same. The answer will be negative. That means if you take a phi cross a rho, it will be minus az. Az cross a phi, it will be minus a rho. Then a rho cross az, it will be minus a phi. Okay. So this way you can take or consider the dot product and cross product in cylindrical coordinate system. Next, just like we considered the differential volume element, we will see it even here. The differential volume element in case of cylindrical coordinate system, it is obtained by increasing the values of rho, phi, and z by differential lengths. Okay, sorry, or differential elements. Here the coordinates are rho, phi, and z. Unlike rectangular coordinate system, where all three were lengths, here d rho and dz is length, but phi is an angle. Okay, d rho and dz is length, but phi is an angle. So what we mean is we increase the, suppose you take a point at P. Okay, so we increase the radius rho by d rho, increase the angle by angle phi by d phi, and increase the length z by dz. So we will get this. So the point P, it is somewhere behind, whatever, draw those invisible lines. So that point P is somewhere here. Increase the radius by rho, angle by phi in this direction, then move it to the top. It comes here. Point P will come here. From what you cannot see here, it comes to what you can see at the top. Okay. So what is the change in the lengths? Okay. So now with this, if you join all these lines, you will get a small volume element. So that is the differential volume element. Okay. Rho is increased by d rho, phi is increased by phi plus d phi, and yeah, z is increased by z plus dz. Now the thing is, what are the lengths of this particular volume element? So this length, this particular length, what you can see is d rho, because it's in the radial direction. Okay, we are increasing the length, the radius by d rho, so that length is d rho. In the top direction, you are increasing it by z plus dz. So the length of this element or the length is dz. Now what about this particular thing? This length. So if you take the element, okay, if you take the element and draw it, you will not get actually a parallelepiped. So there will be one curved surface because it's a cylindrical surface, right? It's a cylindrical surface. So this length, what you can see, ds, okay, whatever you can see at ds and ap, those lines are not straight lines, but they are curved lines. So how do you get a length of a curved line? A curved line is nothing but the arc of a circle, right? So if you know the angle made by the arc of the circle, you can get the length of the arc. So can anyone tell me, if the angle is theta, what is the length of the arc made by that angle theta? So if this is the arc of a circle, okay, so what is the length of this? If this angle is theta, You have studied this in trigonometry or geometry. You need to know the radius, right? If radius is r theta. Yeah, right. So the radius multiplied by the angle will give you the length of the arc, right? Similarly, the length of this particular thing is given by radius multiplied by angle. What is the radius? Radius is rho. What is the angle with which it changes? The angle is changed by d phi. That's why the length is rho d phi. So the length of this will be rho times d phi. That's why we have written rho d phi here. It's not d phi. D phi is the angle. The length of this line will be rho into d phi. Yeah, that's what the if the volume element is very small, you can approximate that to a rectangular parallelepiped with lengths of d rho, rho d phi, and dz. Okay, d rho, rho d phi, and dz. So the surfaces, they have areas of, yeah, we will see the surfaces. There are again 6 surfaces. Okay, we will come to that, and the volume element will be product of all the 3 sides, right? Product of all the 3 sides. Yeah. So these are the different surfaces. The one which is moving in the radial direction, its lengths will be dz into rho d phi, right? Dz into rho d phi. So before that, if you want to write the lengths, okay, lengths will be d rho. In the radial direction, the length is dl rho, that is d rho into a rho. In the phi direction, it will be rho d phi, right? Because d phi is an angle, you need to consider the length rho times d phi into a phi. In the z direction, it is dlz. Dlz, that is given by dz az. So whenever d rho comes, you need to take rho into consideration when it's length. Similarly, the surface areas in rho direction, it will be ds, okay, ds rho. So that is the product of phi with z. The phi component will be rho d phi times dz. The direction is a rho, right? Similarly, in the a phi direction, if you take a phi direction, the dimensions are d rho dz, right? So that will be surface element in a phi direction. So that will be d rho dz a phi. And in case of az direction, so the elements are rho and phi. Okay, so whenever you consider any direction, the other 2 dimensions you have to consider. If it is a rho, then phi and z. If it is a phi, then rho and z. If it is az, then rho and phi. So if it is in az direction, so you can take it as ds z. That will be equal to rho d phi d rho, sorry, az. Okay, rho d phi d rho az. So these are the surface elements. Then what is the volume element? Volume is product of all the 3 lengths. So it is d rho multiplied by rho d phi. Rho d phi, I'll write the rho here. Rho d phi, sorry, d phi dz. Okay, so rho d phi dz. So this is the volume element. So these are the differential elements in case of a cylindrical coordinate system. These are the differential lengths, the surfaces, and the volume element. Okay. Next, we have some more thing about how to convert or what are the equivalents of rectangular rectangular coordinate system in cylindrical coordinate system and vice versa. Okay. So those things we will see in the next class.